begun. Captain Dave is on the bridge with a salty stare. There's a heavy scent of diesel in the humid air. He looks across the harbor at the shiny hulls, ignoring all the tourists and the screaming gulls. He says, stop fishing for boats and find the deep. There are promises for ocean that we have to keep. Oh, turn the handle, Randall, let the drag just scream. Living out of Cabo San Lucas fishing dream. They hate people with suntans and smiles on their face, but we're finding our freedom in this liquid space. Turn off the news, they're all lying to you anyway. We're out here killing fish at the breaking of the day. He's got a hot dog on a stick and a story to tell. Navigating through the swells of this coastal.
All righty then, gang, here we are. We got Kevin from Libertas Rods, and we got your Saltwater Guide Capt, Dave Hansen. And hopefully we have Michael joining us. I'm not sure what's going on, but here we are. Hey, Kevin, how are you tonight?
I'm doing really well, and I also have to give a quick little shout out. So Tiffany from your Thursday shows, she's got a class going right now, and they are all switching over to watch us tonight. So we have all of Tiffany's class watching us tonight.
Oh, cool.
So hello, Tiffany's class.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you very much. And we'll have Tiffany Vague with us on Thursdays as usual. But today we're going to be watching Chapter 10 of the History of Sport Fishing, Part 1, because we got kind of screwed up last week. Part 1 didn't play, or I didn't see it or whatever, so I went straight to Part 2. And so we're going to get back into Part 1. But hey, Kevin, like you and I were talking before we went live, I don't know what's going on here in California, gang. I don't know if it's a paradigm shift and we're going to get a new governor and we're going to get a new mayor of the biggest city in the world, Los Angeles, and new governor of California. Because if you go online right now, and look, I don't go on the news, so it's probably streaming all over the news, but if you go online and look around on YouTube or look around on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, you don't see anything about the election. Usually by now, when I was growing up anyway, Kevin, you got an hour and 45 minutes till the polls closed. You kind of already knew what was happening, right?
Yep. Well, and I've worked I've worked all local, state, and national elections as a polling place worker. And we knew almost immediately at the end of the night who won everything in our state. So the fact that it takes hours or even days in some cases to figure out who the winner is boggles my mind. But, we were joking. They're trying to figure out how to explain that Republicans won in California. They're trying to figure out how to break that one.
It's crazy, huh?
Wild world.
So Michael's over here on the sidelines looking at, he's trying to get on. I don't know where he's trying to get on, but he's trying to jump on. So I got to send him an email real quick.
Okay.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on.
Hey, that's why they call it live.
Yeah, we're here. And I don't know what the heck's going on, Michael. So hold on, everybody. Hang on.
Well, and today you were fishing a little bit. I think you were saying it was a little challenging day, but hey, any day out on the water is a better day than in the office.
Yeah, I just sent Michael over that new link. Hopefully he'll jump on here in a second. I don't know what the hell's going on here. You and I are here, and we're going to get Michael in here with us in a second, gang. Just stand by. Are you still with me?
Yep, I'm here.
Yep. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Isn't technology fun?
Yeah, it's one. Huh.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm on here 2 times. That's weird. I don't know what the hell is going on. Here, let me play this. Beginning of chapter 10. We'll get back and talk about it.
Sounds good.
This is the history of sport fishing. Chapter 10, the competitive edge.
Angling hits a high spot in casting for black bass, one of the gamest of freshwater fish. These Florida misses are adept at this sport. Here's a remarkable shot taken below the surface. Watch that underwater plug and see what happens. They're vicious hunters, these bass, and when they hit hard. He's hooked, and there's no getting away. Not when that young lady is at the other end of the line.
The first century of bass fishing for sport in the U.S. had seen a steady but slow growth in popularity. From the early 1800s through the turn of the 20th century, bass went from being a source of food to a fish respected for its potential as a sporting challenge. This was in thanks, in large part, to Dr. Henshall's 1881 book, The Book of the Black Bass. Tackle advances like the Kentucky multiplying reel, new line and rod materials, and the introduction of wooden plugs. In the period from 1967 through 1970, Ray Scott, Bob Cobb, Helen Sevier, and Harold Sharp had laid a foundation for the future of bass fishing. The Bassmaster Tournament Trail provided a proving ground for anglers and equipment. Bassmaster Magazine was the learning conduit from the pro to the weekend angler, and the Bass Angler Sportsman Society would become the leading organization in the fight for clean water and fish conservation. BASS also provided professional guides like Bill Dance, Roland Martin, and Jimmy Houston ample reason to start television shows extending the learning experience, while providing the fledgling bass fishing and boating industry a stage to improve and promote new gear. What Ray Scott and the gang did to grow the sport cannot be overstated. Their leadership, promotion of new technology, and the techniques while sharing the thrill of competition would take bass fishing from its humble beginnings to being the most popular game fish on the planet.
Oh my God, baby! Oh my God! Get the net! Get the net!
I can't!
Oh my
God,
God!
hold on! Oh my God!
Reverse!
I'm trying to fit.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! That was the most difficult.
folks, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir.
Good
Welcome.
evening, Michael.
Hey, Kevin, how are you, buddy?
I am living the dream. How are you?
I'm living the dream.
The way you put this beginning of chapter 10 together, Michael, is insane. I mean, if you don't get excited watching this is absolutely incredible. And a lot of people that transition from salt to fresh are on here, and you're just getting to see them. And a lot of people know a lot of the people.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting opening hour.
It is pretty cool. But hey, I wanted to talk. We were talking a few minutes ago, Kevin and I. You know what's really strange? You can't find anything about the election today online.
I haven't even looked. I was waiting here until we finished this, and I was going to go in and turn on TV around 8 o'clock and see what they're saying.
It is absolutely crazy. I think it's because we know there's a shift, there's a paradigm shift here, and they don't want to report it.
Exactly. If the mainstream media is not saying anything, let's go to Fox and find some truth.
It's absolutely crazy. I was telling Kevin before you joined us, I'm like, Kevin, I've never lived in this world. There's nothing on social media. There's nothing on the Lion media. There's nothing right now. And it's usually at 6:30 or 6:15 at night, the way you and I grew up, Michael, you had some type of an idea of what was going on.
Yep.
They'd at least talk about exit polls or, talking to people as they leave and get some sort of feel for what's going on. But I've got a news tracker app that sends me headlines and stuff like that. And it has been strangely quiet today.
Seriously, across the country, how many elections in other states do you know?
I'm not sure. I know we had our primary at the very beginning of the month, or when was it? It was last month. It was in May. But this one is very much being watched across the country.
Oh, this is the game changer, I think, right here. If we can pull this off in a midterm, and if California can take care of Mayor Bassinetti, or whatever that word for garbage is. Hey, Dave, how old are you now? You're just a little bit over 60, right?
64.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a thing called sunblock?
Oh, no, I don't wear that.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Ever.
You look like you put your face in an oven today.
It was.
True story for you on that with sunscreen. So I was a lifeguard in high school and never touched the stuff, never wore it. And then my last year, I thought, okay, I'm going to be the responsible senior guard on staff, and I'm going to lather up and all. I got 3rd-degree burns that day.
From the sunblock?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I had big old bubbles on my shoulders. It's like the one time I use the stuff you're supposed to, and I get the worst burns.
I've been there a couple of times. Big old blisters.
Yeah, Kevin, don't let Michael fool you. He would lay out at Catalina every single day. He looked like tar.
Get one of those big aluminum fold-out things.
Yeah, he just laid there in his chair, just
lay there in the back of the boat and bake,
where no wind can touch him.
Jump in, dive in the water for a minute, come back out and bake again. Bake, rinse, and repeat.
Damian Cortez says the Spanish channels are all over the election. Well, what are they saying, Damian? Tell us, because we can't see any of it. I mean, we'll come back to it in a minute here, gang. I wanted to jump in here for a few minutes. Stop. I know this is a fishing show, and we try to do fishing, but unfortunately in California,
today's a huge day.
This is so political, and we're about to lose our rights to fish in the great state of California. And if you vote the way they want you to vote, then we're not going to get to fish in California.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is a big deal, and I want to know what the hell is going on. And the only thing I can think of is they're not getting the results they want, so they're not releasing anything because they have to fix everything before they release it.
Well, they got to cheat. That's all it is. It's just a giant. It's just. I can't even get. I don't even want to talk about it.
Sorry.
Let's watch some bass blow up on some top waters.
Wasn't that a great opening, though?
Yes, it's spectacular.
Ladies and gentlemen, our society is the Bass Angler Sportsman Society is 4 years old in January. We started putting on national bass fishing tournaments with the idea of bringing bass fishing to a rightful place among all sports.
By the early 1970s, competitive bass fishing was hitting its stride.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got 24 of the greatest fishermen in the world headed for the Bassmaster Classic. And we picked a lake that we thought would be at least a fair competition for the talent that we had here. We didn't pick a real easy lake, we fished a rather tough lake. In fact, it's the toughest lake we could find anywhere in America this time of the year. They're 550 miles of shoreline, and the average depth is over 450 feet deep. I hope you brought a lot of long string. You're headed for Lake Mead. Next stop, Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Oh, I wish that there was more than 24 hours in the day. Even if there were 40 more, I wouldn't sleep a minute all the way. There's blackjack, a poker, and a roulette wheel. A fortune one lost on every deal. Oh, you need a strong heart and a nervous seal. So Viva Las Vegas. Viva, Viva Las Vegas.
Ray Scott was a special person, one of the most special people I've ever met in my life. I would say hands down Ray was the best salesman that sport fishing has ever seen.
5th anniversary of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society. Mr. Bass himself, Ray Scott.
And I mean that in every sense. Not only could he sell you a membership to the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, or sell you a boat, or sell you a rod, or sell you a reel, he could sell you on the entire idea of competitive fishing, the entire idea of a Clean Water Act, the entire idea of the kill switch, or the live well, or catch and release, or whatever he wanted to do. He just had those kind of persuasive powers, and he also had the massive advantage of being right 99 times out of 100. He was a guy at the right time, he was a guy at the right place, and there'll never be another one like him.
Father, we ask thee to look after us all this morning. Give us a great day of fishing. Get home safe and sound in Jesus' name. Amen. Gentlemen, start your engines and hold the line.
After Ray Scott formed the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, one of the great things he did was, with the help of his editor Bob Cobb, they came up with what's known as the Bassmaster Classic, still the premier bass tournament in the world, the premier fishing tournament in the world.
6:30 a.m. 41 anglers, 41 pressmen, 41 boats here to compete in the 10th anniversary of the Bassmasters Classic. The most prestigious tournament of tournaments with the largest total purse in bassin history.
In the next 90 minutes, you'll not only be watching the World Championship of Professional Bass Angling, you'll also be seeing history made, because this telecast, this Bassmasters Classic from Chattanooga, Tennessee, is coming to you live. For the first time in professional bass angling, you'll be seeing it as it happens.
The Bassmasters Classic, the test of the best, the World Championship of Professional Bass Angling. This is where it's decided today. This is where the nation's best bass anglers are vying not only for the World Champion's crown, but also for the $50,000 first place prize money that goes with the coveted championship. High-performance bass boats, loaded with sophisticated electronic aids, are carrying these classic contestants to the bass-filled battlefields of Chickamauga and Nickajack.
With all the fanfare came the industrial revolution of the bass fishing industry. From boats, motors, and electronics, to rods and reels, and innovative new baits, every new year offered technological breakthroughs, all to help the angler catch more fish. Skeeter is credited with developing the first bass boat in 1948. But it wouldn't be until Ray Scott and his Bassmaster Tournament Trail that bass boats would truly come into their own. Former fishing guide and cattle farmer Forrest Wood saw the need for a boat specifically designed for tournament bass fishing, and in 1968 set out to fill that void. His Ranger Boat Company would become the benchmark for bass boat design in the early years of the industry. While Skeeter and Ranger opened the doors, others followed the wave, such as Ron Pierce with Bass Cat, Monarch,
Wachita,
Hydra Sports, and Tidecraft. Even some tackle manufacturers such as Rebel and Cordell climbed on the bass boat wagon. Competition also drove boats to be faster and more efficient. Hulls got longer, more stable, and could handle motors in excess of 150 horsepower. Boats morphed from having open cockpits with no dry storage to the point today where most of the boat is a raised deck with all the dry storage beneath. Today's bass boat reflects more than 50 years of tournament evolution.
Now, the key to finding these underwater features is a set of underwater eyes in the form of a fish locator.
Accessories, such as electronics, would also evolve due to competition. Trolling motors went from 12-volt stern mounts with maybe 10 pounds of thrust to today's 36-volt systems that feature more than 100 pounds of thrust, and coupled with GPS, don't even need operator input to keep an angler on the spot. The biggest advance in the industry over the past 50 years has been with depth finders. From the late 1950s through the late 1990s, technology could only provide units that would read the depth and see objects between the surface and the bottom that were directly below the boat. Today's units offer forward and side scanning and real-time imaging to the point the angler can target a single fish and see how they react to a bait.
And this will be his first bass of the morning. It's a good fish, boy. It fell all over the side.
It's a big fish, man. We want to see a mid-southern boy. Jackson, Mississippi. Wow! Dewey, look at that. There's your largemouth, man. That could be that will put him in the lead.
Ray Scott's success promoting BASS inspired other organizations to form and challenge his dominance in the market. Shortly after BASS was formed, organizations like Project Sports Inc., American Angler, the Bass Casters Association, and American Bass Fishermen all took aim at Scott's place at the top, but none could reach the pinnacle of success he had already achieved.
A wire-to-wire win for the Great Canadian Snow Leopard. Oh, Canada, you have a Bassmaster Classic champion. A wire-to-wire win for Jeff Gustafson, your 2023 Academy Sports and Outdoors Bassmaster Classic champion, Jeff Gustafson. Gussie gets it done and finishes in spot number 1. And for the second time in history, there is an International Bassmaster Classic winner, and for the first time, the Classic trophy heads north of the border.
The sport had superstars such as Bill Dance, Roland Martin, Tom Mann, and Jimmy Houston.
Winning the Classic is you have won the Super Bowl. You are, quote unquote, the world champion.
There's no tournament in the world that compares to the Bassmaster Classic. The media you have there, the prestige, it's our Super Bowl of fishing.
The Classic is big time. We're talking 25, 30,000 people out there screaming, and then the television audience that will pick up on it. When you win it, everybody in the world knows it.
It's what everyone dreams about, and it's become the pinnacle on top of the mountain. It is the Super Bowl. It is the World Series. It's the NCAA tournament for bass fishermen.
The pressure of knowing that this is the biggest event in the sport. And, if you win the Classic, it'll make your whole career.
Qualifying for the Bassmasters Classic was a childhood dream for most of these anglers. While their friends were watching Saturday morning cartoons, they were fishing with the likes of Bill Dance, Jimmy Houston, or Roland Martin as they lived the dream through the magic of television. Now, the dream is bigger than life.
Scott Morris and Dance each hold a place of honor as being three of the most notable pioneers of modern bass fishing. But in the coming decades, it would be the spirit of competition that would continue to fuel the meteoric rise of bass fishing into the lives of millions around the world.
If I could make a living from walking in the woods, you can bet I'd be sitting pretty good high on a hill, looking at a field downwind. If I could make a nickel off of turning in bass, never worry about the price of gas, I'd be wheeling and dealing and sitting there reeling them in. Hunting, fishing, loving every day, that's the prayer that a country boy prays. Thank God he made me this way. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'm getting red dirt rich and Flint River paid. Hunting, fishing, and loving every day. I get a little farm pond buzz, sound of gravel when I'm backing up, pulling the string on a 9.92 stroke Murphy. I love it when my baby wants to roll with me, throws her boots on, climbs in a tree, tucking her hair in my hat and she's ready to go. And we get to hunting, fishing, loving every day. That's the prayer that a country boy prays. Thank God he made me this way. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'm getting red dirt rich and Flint River paid. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Yeah.
So I just wanted to touch on this because we talked about this a few months ago, Michael. The way that they were able to market this thing, Ray Scott and the people, and Bill Dance and Martin and the rest of these guys, it became a staple for all of us. I know, Kevin, you can tell us right now, you grew up watching bass fishing while you were laying in your bed. Instead of cartoons in the morning on Saturdays, you were watching bass fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you know, I'm sitting here thinking, I had to look up when he passed, and it was 2022, and I'm just thinking he has got to be incredibly proud of what this tournament has turned into. And if you have not watched either coverage during the fishing or the coverage of the award ceremony for the Bassmaster Classic, I mean, it truly does rival the Super Bowl. It 100% does. I mean, every catch of a fish is like that 90-yard kickoff return that everyone goes nuts over. I mean, it really is. It's electric. I mean, and like you said, Captain Dave, cartoons were on Saturday mornings. I didn't know that. You know, I mean, there were there was some, I can't remember if it was ESPN or one of the other channels that got piped in, but every morning there was at least one bass fishing that either had Bill Dance or Martin or one of those guys. You know, I mean, can you call yourself a bass fisher if you don't know who wears a Tennessee hat?
You can't.
So, I mean, it really is phenomenal. And I think it also speaks volumes too, that I didn't recognize the names of any of the other tournaments that tried to kind of compete. There's maybe one nowadays that is close, but it's a totally different format of fishing.
Yeah.
What's it called? Major League Fishing is the other one, but they're very, very different styles of fishing tournaments. But it's also really cool to see the history of the bass boats.
Isn't that cool?
I mean,
and that first Skeeter boat, which everybody thought was the end of the world. It was It was, I mean, to what, you know, how those platforms have evolved is almost incomprehensible.
Yeah, I was very, very blessed to participate in a veteran bass tournament at one of the lakes here. And the boater I happened to pull was a sponsored college fisher, like fishes for his college.
Right.
So we had his 21 foot, 250 horsepower. Just, I've never been 70 miles an hour on the water like that before. It was nuts.
4
And we
inches
made it from one side of the lake to the other in no time.
Yep.
And then the first time I experienced spot lock, like we were out in the middle of the lake and the boat's not moving, but you can see that, you know, there's a little bit of current. And I looked at him, I go,
what's going on?
Okay, so what are you doing to make the boat stay where we're at? Because you're at the front of the boat fishing. I'm in the back of it. Neither of us are near the controls. What are you doing? And then he explained the spot lock stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Isn't that cool?
The technology in these things. And then the forward facing sonar has been an absolute game changer in that world.
It's a phenomenal tool.
And I guess I should also say I need to look for a Bass Fishers Anonymous meeting. I might have the all the deluxe add-ons you can get for the BASS Xbox game.
Right.
So I may need to find me a meeting to go to and deal with my bass fishing addiction. But I mean, it's just incredible how, I mean, who would have thought when this got started that there would be video games for this stuff? You know,
and just a tip: you don't need an AA meeting for bass. You just need more time on the water.
Yeah, there you go.
What I wanted to talk about for a second, though, Michael, is the way you blended the transformation with the flasher. When Roland Martin's sitting there with the flasher and he's showing the flasher, people don't quite understand. That's what we all used back in the day, gang. We didn't have anything.
That was state of the art.
You had a paper graph or you had a flasher. And if you had a paper graph, you felt pretty proud of yourself. And you didn't have one on a bass boat because everything gets wet.
Plus, they were big units.
Yeah, they were.
Big units.
So it was cool the way you blended that in. And then we went right into the boats and the way the boats changed. And you can't even comprehend the way these guys were fishing bass back in the day. No electronics, those boats, they look like bathtubs.
They were using paddles. You know, you guys sitting there with the umbrella on the back of a ice chest. I loved it.
Oh yeah, I do too. It's so cool to see how the whole industry has evolved. In the next chapter, chapter 11, we get back into talking about this thing that we know the most about is sport boats and sport boat fishing and how it evolved. But this, because of the way you described it, the way you showed everybody, and the way that fishing, hunting, and it's so close to not having this anymore in our life. So we just got to be diligent and we got to watch this and we got to feel it like Kevin's feeling it right now. And Michael and I feel it every day. This is real. This is a real feeling, gang. And it's a good feeling. Like Michael said, you don't need to fight it. Just let it happen.
That shot where you had the largemouth come up out of the water to get whatever that bait was hanging above the surface of the water, just seeing that mouth. Oh, I got chills.
Isn't that amazing? There was the kid that shot that actually was from Texas, and he's called the Fish Whisperer. And I saw that shot, and it took me a year to track him down because I didn't want to use it without his permission. He said, "Oh yeah, you can use it, absolutely. I got some more. You want me to send them to you?" And I go, "Yeah." So all those phenomenal close-up bass shots. He shot in a private pond, and he said it took him a while, but he says, "I love my bass."
Oh my God!
Love my bass.
Yeah, it reminds me of frog fishing when you're fishing with frogs. And the thing is, for me, is I always forget to set the hook when that frog eats my bait because I'm like mesmerized by what just happened. And oh my God, that was on my bait.
I mean, their mouths are just, they can inhale like a rabbit.
Right.
it's not a quiet take either.
No.
When you get a bass hit, like you're saying, a frog or, any of whopper ploppers or anything that's up on the surface, to hear that, I mean, it's a loud, it happens.
You almost hear that.
Yeah.
Right.
Hear that. What?
You hear
The vacuum.
Yeah, the vacuum, exactly. Boom.
Yeah, it's pretty
well.
sick.
And what's crazy to me about them too, and I know you guys get this all the time in the oceans, but it's like I'll catch a bass on, a 6-inch plastic worm or swim bait or whatever, and it'll have a fish in it already. Like, how much do you need, pal? I mean, they really are incredible. And I mean, for me too, in my neck of the woods, smallmouth are insane because they're all fighting current. So they've got the extra strength of the current from the rivers. And whew, yeah, I've got chills in this episode, Michael. Whew.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, these last few episodes, I think, really come to a pretty exciting climax for the whole series.
Absolutely. It's the history of sport fishing, gang. You can get it. You can get it everywhere you watch streaming now. You can get the history of sport fishing. A lot of us got it in the beginning when you guys were trying to figure it out. Thank you very much for allowing us to purchase it. But now it's
on Prime, Google, YouTube, Apple TV, Vimeo.
And everybody needs to watch it from the beginning to the end. We give it a little bit of faith and hope here, but we don't give it the justice that it needs, gang. If you got time, watch a few episodes every night. This will replace whatever you're watching on Netflix. Unless you've already seen it, you got to watch this because it's incredible. Let's watch a little bit more of this. And if anybody that's watching has any questions or comments, go ahead and feel free to drop a comment over here on our right-hand side. We'll see it as we go here.
Any questions too? We're here to help.
And we got the maker of the film right here, so we can't go wrong. He'll tell you exactly what he was thinking. Let's do it.
So while y'all are up there breathing in that old dirty air, I'll be down here knee deep in the muck of lake. Hunting and fishing, loving every day. I want to see them tall pines sway. Y'all close them eyes, let's go there in our mind. Hunting and fishing and loving every day, that's the prayer this country boy prays. Thank God he made me this way. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Black coffee in the morning, dark whiskey in the evening. I get red dirt rich and forever paid. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Woo! Come on. Won't you come along with me? Won't you come along with me? I know you want to see hunting and fishing and loving every day.
Only a small percentage of the people who fish for bass will ever fish a competitive fishing tournament, will ever put money on the line to see who can come to the weigh-in with the biggest bag of fish. But tournament fishing has changed the way that marketplace works for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason is Well, it's tournament fishing that gets all the ink. It's tournament fishing that gets the camera attention. It's tournament fishing that makes stars for the most part.
In the mid-1970s, bigger and bigger stars were beginning to emerge in the world of sport fishing, thanks to the use of television and print media captivating the imagination of anglers from coast to coast. Bass fishing would lead the way in building a billion-dollar worldwide industry around competitive bass fishing. The stars they would produce in the process would become not only respected sports figures, but tournament rock stars as well.
The fishing world would begin to look at classic winners as their sports heroes. It was the kind of title that made careers, as would also happen to the 1979 Bassmaster Classic winner, Hank Parker. 50 years ago, a single tournament came to define an entire sport, and the decade of the 70s saw it off to a blazing start.
And so the rods, the reels, the lines, and the lures that win tournaments, the boats that anglers ride in to win tournaments, get a lot of prominence. And just like a kid who watches Michael Jordan dunk a basketball says to himself, you know, if I was wearing Air Jordans, I too could dunk a basketball. Guys like me watch Denny Brower flip a jig into a bush and pull a big bass out, and I think to myself, well, if I had that rod, reel, and line, I too could have pitched into that bush and caught that bass. And whether it's true or not, it moves the marketplace.
There's Roland, in his first event, he was brought to Toledo Bend by Tommy Salisbury, and they came from Santee Cooper. Incidentally, he finished second in his first tournament and won the second one, and went on to be a dominant force all through my career.
And folks, here's the living legend of bass fishermen fishing when it comes to all-time money winnings. He won every honor in the book. Lewiston, Florida's Roland Martin. A nice welcome. Angler of the Year, top performing fisherman for 9 years. Won unprecedented 16 national titles. Over the years, in 67 tournaments he participated in, he was in the top 10 money. Nobody has ever feated that.
It's so hard to win a Bassmasters Classic. You know, you've got Jimmy Houston, Roland Martin, and Bill Dance fished all them years, and none of them ever won the Classic. And they probably wanted it more than any man on earth.
You know, when we fish, we can't always catch all the fish that bite. And that's the thrill of it, and that's why we'll go back again another day.
What would be one word of advice, just one tip? What would that one tip be, Roland?
Go early and stay late.
All right, that's good enough. All right, thank you, Roland Martin.
When you look at a guy like Roland Martin and you try to place him, it's very tough. He's obviously one of the greatest bass anglers of all time, perhaps one of the greatest anglers of all time, because Roland can catch them if they've got fins. But I think Roland was probably the first true scientific angler, maybe Buck Perry, but Roland Martin was another one of those guys who was a structure fisherman. He knew how to look for fish offshore around contour changes and things like that. He was also the guy who defined pattern fishing, which involves replicating certain conditions like depth, current, water color, water temperature, and same things like that, and being able to say, you know, hey, I caught him under these conditions. I bet if I can replicate those conditions, I can catch him over here. And he proved that for 50 years in the tournament trail.
In his career, Roland Martin won 19 events, had 102 top 10 finishes, and qualified for 25 Bassmaster Classics, while winning 9 Angler of the Year awards, all while running his TV show, Fishing with Roland Martin.
He's just like a gypsy, mighty hard to hold. The great American fisherman got fishing in his soul.
So everything's got to line up. I know Jimmy's been close. I know that Roland's been close. What a fierce competitor.
Now, Roland had the passion to do it. Roland wanted to win it. It was very, very, very bad.
Roland Martin never won the Classic. Never won the Classic. This may be it. At least he's getting on.
During the era, you got to remember that Roland was trying to win the Classic. The Classic format was different. It played completely against Roland's strengths. Now, Bill was kind of in between the two.
Bill, let me ask you this. You know, it's a funny thing is that you and most of our really great fishermen never seem to be able to win the Classic in 4 years. What do you think the reason is that?
I can't give you an answer for it, but I do know this, that every fisherman here is capable of winning.
I'll never forget the day Bill Dance told me he was going to quit. It broke my heart because Bill was probably, him and Roland were the two I looked up to the most. And I actually went up to him and I said, Bill, why in the world are you quitting? I said, you're the best there is. He said, Rick, I can't compete against you guys.
Bill Dance, how many pounds you kick?
I crashed and burned.
A lot of guys in the big-time tournament world have made names for themselves by winning tournaments, going into television and things like that. But I can really think of only one guy who changed tournament fishing, not so much through his tournament success, but through his development of a technique that is so involved, so sophisticated, so advanced that I would call it not just a technique, it is a philosophy. The angler is D. Thomas. The technique and philosophy is flipping.
And the reason why this technique is so close to my heart is the fact that without this technique, I would have not have survived out here on the BASS circuit. In 1979, when I left California, I only had $1,000 in my pocket and I had a tremendous amount of confidence because I was raised by D. Thomas. And I say raised, I actually met D. Thomas when I was 15 years old. And D basically took me under his wing. We spent a lot of time fishing together and he showed me the effectiveness with the flipping technique.
Pretty cool, huh?
Well, I tell you, you talk about a spitting image. Roland and his son, Scott. Oh, my goodness. I had to double check who I was watching.
Really?
They sound exactly the same. They have the exact same mannerisms. They're spitting images. I mean, Roland's son, Scott, is, I mean, he's his dad. It's freakish.
Same haircuts?
No. No, I saw them both at ICAST last year. I saw everybody. Spent a couple minutes with Bill Dance. I told Bill Dance, come here. And he's all, I'm walking out. I don't have time. I said, come here, I'll make you famous. And he thought that was the funniest thing he'd ever heard. He said, I never heard that before. And I'm like, yeah, can I get a picture now?
Yes, he is without doubt the most famous angler in the world.
Oh my God, it was such
Probably
an
the most
honor.
popular. I mean, the guy is absolutely a gem of a human being.
It was an honor to get to meet him.
He did a thing too where he was not afraid to show his bloopers.
Oh no!
Like if you've ever seen a Bill Dance blooper reel,
oh, it's coming up.
You better be ready to have your sides just aching from laughter.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that's why I stopped this for a minute. It's almost over, gang, and I hope that everybody gets what they wanted out of this election tonight. But my cousin Dan Daniels, he's been on the circuit for a long time, and he said the same thing about D. Thomas. My cousin Danny, he watches this show every day, and he had the opportunity to spend time with this guy, and he said this guy was nothing but a gentleman and shared everything and the art of flipping, and this guy created it, made it famous, and then was more than happy to teach other people.
Yep.
D. Thomas was an incredible human being, and Dan, my cousin, got to fish with them for a long time, and that's all he talks about. Whenever we're together, he's all, D. Thomas, D. Thomas, D. Thomas. It was so cool just now to hear that name again. Yep. So let's watch the end of this, gang, and we'll jump in here if anybody's got any questions. We're just about at the hour. Right. And then I'll show you a couple minutes of the preview of what we're showing next week.
Perfect.
Took it, ran with it from there, and kind of developed some of my own little features to it. But the techniques never changed from the way Dee designed it back in the early 70s.
Flipping is a long rod, short presentation technique, fixed line technique for the most part, where you're reaching out a short distance, usually say 15 to 20 feet out, and presenting a lure like a jig or a plastic worm. And what made flipping a philosophy was, A, there are always some fish in shallow water, B, a shallow fish is a biting fish. It's a fish that's likely to be feeding. And C, the key to catching that fish is presentation. And he established that flipping was the best way to present a lure to those fish.
Hearing about this new technique, Dave Myers of Fenwick Rods approached Thomas about building a specific new rod for his revolutionary new technique, and the flipping stick was born. Myers then took Thomas to the first Bassmaster event of the 1975 season, held on Toledo Bend Reservoir in Texas. Thomas bombed. Then Myers took him to the second event on Bull Shoals Lake in Arkansas. Thomas and his new flipping technique won by 10 pounds, and the technique of flipping was on the map. Thomas didn't like the travel associated with fishing the Bassmaster circuit and elected to stay put on the West. But one of his disciples, Dave Glebe, wanted to take a crack at it. In 1977, Glebe won 3 tour-level events in a row on 3 different circuits, winning one by a margin of almost 50 pounds. Flipping was no longer a fad, but a technique that had to be learned and mastered in order to be competitive. Thomas continued fishing in the Western events and dominated through the early 2000s. He won everything the West had to offer, competitive-wise. In 2010, health issues started to take their toll, but Thomas would not let a few ailments keep him from competing. Thomas and his partner, Grant Alguin, were in the top 3 of the local team circuits, looking to finish out the season as Team of the Year. But on July 18th, 2022, Thomas made his eternal flip, leaving behind a legacy for the ages. Jimmy Houston's love for bass fishing dates back to his early childhood. His first brush with competitive angling came when High Peskin's World Series of Sport Fishing came to Ten Killer Lake in his hometown of Cookson, Oklahoma.
Oh my God. Yeah, and what we did, gang, is we broke this up into 2 parts. We showed part 2 last week. We had some technical difficulties, so that's why we did it that way. And I showed part 1 this week, and we broke it down. If you want to see part 2, you can go back and watch us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple, Megaphone, Threads, X. We're on everything. You can always watch it. But real quick, gang, I'm just going to show you what we're going to watch next week. I'm just going to show you a little bit, just a little teaser, and then we'll get into that. And a lot of you are going to relate very, very heavily to this because this is our world.
Yep, we're getting back to it. Yeah, exactly.
This is the history of sport fishing.
Wrong one.
Chapter 11, A World of Opportunities.
Yeah.
From the moment in 1967 when Ray Scott brought together 106 anglers to compete in the first ever All-American Bass Tournament, the sport of competitive angling has seen a meteoric rise in popularity. The numbers and types of tournaments now held across the U.S. and beyond are as varied as the species being fished for. The anglers themselves are equally diverse, coming from far and wide to compete, yet they share a common set of goals: to challenge themselves against the very best the sport has to offer.
All right, gang, and if
to
you watch
learn
this,
and
you're going to be blown away by the footage that Michael has gathered up. And
that's pretty cool stuff.
It's going to be spectacular the next couple of shows that we do, because this is really our wheelhouse. This is where we grew up. This is what we do. And I can't thank you enough for being with us today, Michael, because when I was a kid growing up, all I ever wanted to do was be on your show. Like so many people wanted to be on Roland Martin's show or on Bill Dance's show. The people of Southern California wanted to be on Inside Sport Fishing. The way that the show started, it gives me goosebumps every time I see it. Now it's playing live all day, every day. You can watch it on YouTube. It's pretty cool. And I remember the way every one of those episodes made me feel.
Yeah, Elliot's got it. He's put up every single episode we ever shot. We've got over 350 episodes now streaming on YouTube 24/7. It's live and it doesn't cost you a dime. if you do look at it, just hit subscribe and like. It really helps us.
Absolutely. And you won't be disappointed because there's some really cool stuff. And you get to see a lot of the people, Roy Rose and Tim Ekstrom and Frank LaPrez. You get to see a lot of people that I have on the podcast all the time when they were young.
Yeah.
When these guys were young and they were just coming up. And like I say, any of us, Todd Manser, he's on there. He looks like he's 14 years old. He's,
little baby face.
And you guys have seen all these people on my podcast, and it's just so cool to go back and watch these shows, Michael. And I'm so happy that you made the history of sport fishing just to pass on to everybody what this passion that the three of us sitting here, what it means to us, and how important it is to not let it get away from us.
Yes, sir.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see what happens tonight. Tomorrow morning, they'll start the fix, but tonight we'll know who won. And then tomorrow they'll figure it. Then tomorrow we'll wake up and somebody else will have won, like in 2020.
Well, and just real quick, I should thank you, Michael, as well for saving me some money now every month, because I've canceled all of my music streaming stuff. And when I'm here in the shop all day working on stuff, I've got Inside Sport Fishing going.
That's a couple of guys have called me and told me that they want, like they got retail stores. He says, we got 2 or 3 monitors. We just run your stuff 24/7. It's pretty cool. It's great entertainment for the shop. Consumers love it. Customers come loving it.
I made sure that a big piece of the shop in here, I've got a 55-inch TV.
Nice.
And so your show is streaming all day while I'm back here behind me working on rods. So I love it.
I'm hoping this series stays around for generations to come.
Well, it's already hitting my generation, and I'll do my part as much as I can to keep it going. That's for sure.
Thank you, sir. And Dave, thank you again for having me on. It's such an honor to be on your show every week.
Oh, yeah. All right, gang. Well, thank you all for watching tonight. I know it was a weird time, 6 o'clock. We'll be back at noon on next Tuesday and noon tomorrow. And I don't think I'm going to go fishing again for a couple of days because I got a little sunburn.
You got blisters coming out of your forehead.
You're going to have to go hang out in a walk-in fridge so you can cool down a little bit.
I am so flipping hot right now. I'm burning up. All right, everybody.
Join us, Kevin. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
And say your prayers tonight. We need some help.
Look forward to seeing you again this time next week.